Are you in a relationship with an avoidant woman who seems to pull back just as things are getting close, especially during the holidays? Today, in this video, we're going to dive into what's going on in her mind and how you can navigate this season successfully. I also want to talk to you about how to build a more secure relationship with her over time, how to help her transition into more security with you, and how to build a great relationship full of trust and intimacy. I'm Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist, and in recent months, I've developed the title Avoidant Whisperer because there seems to be very few people on the internet talking positively about avoidant partners. Many creators out there are happy to badmouth avoidant people, and they pull in partners who are upset and angry at the moment. But in this video, and in all of my avoidant videos, I try and take great pains to make sure you understand that you can build a loving, fulfilling, and intimate relationship with a great avoidant partner, as long as they are ethically avoidant and not manipulatively avoidant. Today, avoidant women in holiday relationships. This video in particular is going to give you insight into how avoidant women think and feel, especially during the holidays. And I'm going to provide practical steps to set realistic expectations around gifts, dates, and family visits without causing stress or distance. So let's get right into it. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome, and I'm glad that you're here. I'm going to give a brief oversight about how avoidant attachment style forms and how it builds relationship problems. I'm also going to talk to you about avoidant behaviors and how they can sometimes develop and be a bit disruptive. If you're used to the channel and you've been here for quite a long time, hey, I'm glad you're here. Let's focus specifically on avoidant women this time and show you how that forms. Avoidant women experienced in childhood either incredible emotional distance from caregivers, so they felt totally alone, or arbitrary emotions being dumped on them and having to deal with unrealistic expectations, hurtful behaviors from other people, or really chaotic disruptions. Their brain did not get the oxytocin bonding it needed as a child to feel safe. So now she's in almost a continuous masculine mode of protect, drive away threats, and acquire resources for myself. It's a very masculine driven pursuit. It's essentially a early childhood trauma that shapes behavior continuously through life, and it grows into a hardcore survival instinct. This means that her parasympathetic nervous system is largely deactivated, rest and digest, and her sympathetic nervous system is maxed out and always running. It may go up and down, that fight or flight response and that threat assessment risk focus, constantly up and down, but it never really turns off. And this blocks those oxytocin receptors. This is why avoidant women, an estimated 6 to 10% of the population, don't experience the same oxytocin bonding experiences that other women do. Dating advice won't usually work on them. Romantic expectations are different for them. They're not really likely to respond to the usual flowers, chocolates, promises you don't intend to keep. They're not likely to focus on that and really believe in those things. They're more likely to look for practical solutions, assume ulterior motives, and pull away when the intimacy really gets hottest. This means nothing you've ever heard on the internet is probably going to work on her. I'm just going to tell you that right now. And even trying to use tactics on her is going to set off her alarm bells because she sees you trying to use tactics. And she is way more tactical than you could ever be. So you're just going to confuse her and make her feel like you're trying to run some sort of game. I don't suggest you do that. Instead, I suggest that you focus on this aspect. Okay, avoidant women struggle with closeness during holidays because they have discomfort around expectations and emotional and physical intimacy. They don't understand what you want. They don't understand how you feel or why you feel it. And the holiday season is overwhelming, confusing, and threatening to them. This is why they pull away. Okay, the internal conflict she's feeling, she probably wants connection. Very few avoidant women don't want connection, but they usually feel overwhelmed by the idea of intense expectations, getting trapped in them, and not knowing why she's so different from everybody else. Okay, the intense holiday commitments, and especially them, they lead to some pretty serious mixed signals. Okay, so let's get into how an avoidant woman thinks and feels during the holidays specifically. So around gifts and expectations first. This is the biggest area that it's most obvious, okay? Receiving or giving gifts can feel like an emotional obligation to an avoidant woman more than a simple gesture. The idea, like the hallmark idea, is that women are just overflowing with Christmas spirit and they want to give emotional crying gifts to everyone and it's just overflowing from abundance. And that's not really an avoidant woman, typically. Again, they have low levels of oxytocin, if any at all, and they don't really feel that oxytocin connection. They've never really felt that depth of emotional warmth because no one's ever helped them feel it. They've never really felt safe in their life, so they don't really know what that's supposed to come from. And that safe feeling, that oxytocin feeling, and that warmth in the chest, that drives compulsive affectionate behavior. So the stereotypical woman who's overflowing with abundant, bubbly holiday cheer is usually full to the max of oxytocin herself. This is why avoidant women, they're a bit more mechanical, and so they aren't usually bubbling over with holiday cheer. So giving gifts feels confusing to them. They might have given gifts throughout the year and say, well, what the heck do I do now? They might not understand, well, okay, they're probably expecting some sort of weird, mushy sentiment, and I don't really do that. So what am I supposed to give them? Well, everyone needs a roll of duct tape. That probably would be a great gift, right? They're more likely to give practical gifts like this. I really think you need like a new hammer or something, maybe, because you just got a new house. Here's a hammer and a hacksaw. And you're like, what do you think I'm going to be doing this holiday season? Right? It's that very practical, mechanical thinking that's non-sentimental. This might lead to her appearing indifferent or dismissive. A lot of avoidant women look disinterested and they look like they just don't care. And in fact, they care a great deal. It's just that the thing inside them, that hormone that's supposed to be driving compulsive emotion and sentiment, that's absent for them because they're in pure survival mode. So again, a hammer, duct tape, and a hacksaw sound like amazing gifts when you're in pure survival mode. You're like, wow, this will really help me when the uprisings come. But no, for her, this is not an emotional experience. She's trying to give you something practical that will care for you. It's showing that she's thinking of your needs, but maybe from a different aspect than you're used to, okay? Insight here that you need to take away: her hesitation in gift giving isn't usually about you. It's about managing her comfort with emotional vulnerability. She doesn't really get the emotional aspect. Plus, if you're giving her overwhelming emotional gifts, she's like, whoa, this is a lot of feeling and stuff put into this gift. I don't know how I could possibly repay you to the same extent. I'm going to disappoint you with whatever gift I give you. It's a huge burden and a reciprocal gift demand on her. Most cultures around the earth are very big on reciprocal gift giving of equal value. For avoidant women, this turns into kind of a nightmare because people are like, oh, I handcrafted you this sweater in the darkness with only candlelight as my guide, and I cried every moment because my fingers were blistered, but I crafted you this sweater, and I hope you'll wear it and think of my love for you. And she's like, thanks? Like, I bought you an herbal tea set? Like, she doesn't really know how to reciprocate with that level of sentiment. And it feels like a giant burden. It feels like a giant debt. She's probably grateful, but how the hell is she supposed to repay it? This is why that gift giving is so overwhelming to a lot of avoidant women. Keep this in mind. So if you give her a gift and she seems confused or pulls back, that's probably what's going on. Help her understand, for example, by saying, I'm giving you this gift, not because I want anything in return, and I don't expect a big emotional gift in return. I just want you to have this as a measurement of my care for you. It actually makes me happy that you're receiving it, so please just receive it and be joyful with it. Helping her understand that your reward is her happiness, that at least helps her understand that you're getting what you need out of this gift, and it lowers the burden and the expectation for her in return. Making your expectations abundantly clear, really helpful. And avoidant people in particular understand more selfish thinking, if you want to think of it that way. Selfish focused thinking of, I feel good when I give you a gift, so please receive this gift so I can feel good. Helping her understand that that's what you're looking for. You're not like, I'm giving you this gift so that you'll give me a $10,000. No, like, it's not what it's like. Make sure she understands what you're looking for. Help her understand that there are no ulterior motives because you already feel good having given her this gift. Understand? One thing that can be very helpful for avoidant people is actually in advance setting a dollar limit on the gift you're going to give. Hey, let's set a dollar limit, no more than 40 or $50 or whatever. $100, whatever you guys are comfortable with. Some couples have more, some couples don't. That's fine. Set a dollar limit on what you're willing to give. And then even maybe say like, we'll give each other something practical that each one of us really needs, or we'll give each other something goofy or sexy or whatever it might be. We'll give each other a gift in this theme for about this much. Help her really understand so she doesn't have this like high cortisol spike as she's thinking of giving you gifts. Again, manage her comfort level around that emotional aspect of it. Make the expectations clear. She will think your expectations are here. Clarify that they're actually here. Now, same thing around family visits and gatherings. Social expectations during the holidays can trigger her need for, well, number one, risk management. And then as that burns her out, she needs more space. Family gatherings pressure her to perform in closeness, to perform as the perfect woman. If she's around her family, she's going to be trying to manage damage and make sure no one spikes and freaks out as you're visiting and that there's not explosions. When she's around your family, she's going to be trying to manage her performance and her appearance so that your family won't be disappointed and they'll raise their approval rating of her. So she's trying to win around your family and trying not to fail around her family, most likely is the pattern. This is pretty common for avoidant men and women, but women in particular feel this need to be the perfect girl, the perfect wife, the perfect girlfriend, perfect and flawless in every way, while also managing everybody else's feelings so no one explodes or fights with each other. It's exhausting. Many avoidant women actually think they're introverts when they're not. It's just that their massive levels of anxiety around social engagement are utterly exhausting. So they feel like a wreck after social events from managing other people and managing expectations. That's not being an introvert. That's massive level societal and social fears, anxieties, and basically just avoidant attachment. To be honest with you, I'm sorry. It's avoidant attachment style in social settings with people that you actually care about. This can be enormous pressure, like I said, to look like the perfect woman in front of your family and friends. A lot of women dress absolutely to the nines. Avoidant women in particular are known for really usually going all out with their appearance, the makeup, the shoes, the dress, the hair. They go all out because it's their battle armor. If you want to think of it that way, this is her battle armor. This is her looking perfect. This is her managing risks. It's one more asset she can utilize. Not every woman does this, but avoidant women in particular are more likely to. They're more likely to engage in those things because it boosts their chances of success. So understand, okay, that she's going to be utterly exhausted, even in advance, anticipating this, that her withdrawal and nervousness is not personal to you. It's her way of managing stress. Couple things that I need you to do. One, go into this minded as, how can we work on this together? You look at her and say, I know you're going into this making sure with your family that there aren't disasters. What do I need to help you avoid? What can I do to make sure we avoid problems here today? I promise you I will avoid X, Y, and Z. Let me help you. Okay? Go into this as her ally and her friend. When it's with your family, go into it and say, what are you thinking you need to show, or what are you hoping for? What's a win condition from this? What's the lose condition with your family? What's the win condition with my family? What can I help you do? How can I help you during this to achieve your targets? What information do you need from me in advance? Grill me and get any data you need from my family so that you can feel comfortable and you know what to do. If she can start grilling you and getting data and then apply some of that during, fantastic. Also, set expectations around how long you're going to be at the event. If she feels like she's going to have to sit there for 9 hours performing in flawless makeup with 9-inch stiletto heels, like perfectly poised in a cocktail dress, she's going to be like, no, I would rather die, right? And she's going to be stressed on the way there, stressed during, stressed after. Manage that. Manage a time limit on where you're going to be, who's going to be where, who's visiting who, which days. And then afterward, and this is really important, make sure she knows that it is perfectly okay for her to step away and not speak to a human being for a while, including you. hey, sweetheart, I know that you probably felt exhausted after that. I know it's a lot of work. Do you need some time to yourself? Do you need me to go see a movie? I can step out and go see my friend so and so. Do you need to excuse yourself halfway through? That's totally fine. Do you just need some time alone? Do you want to go out and see a movie and go out to dinner by yourself? Do what do you need? How many hours can I give you? What do you need from me because you did great today? Rest up. Get the rest that you need. Help her feel calm. Give her that space. Be her ally who allots that space. Put it on the calendar. Schedule it before so that she knows she can look forward to that time to decompress after. That will help her perform and be calm during. And then everything else can help her diminish her level of performance. If she thinks she has to perform way up here, like Broadway actress, and you're like, no. It's like junior high school play here. Like that's the level of performing. She's like, really? Okay, I can do that, right? Bring that down and then give her the scheduled rest time afterward. So much easier for her, you guys. Clarify those expectations. Very important. I recommend one more thing for the holidays, especially. Set some low pressure dates. It is way too common that a lot of couples get so focused into work, and then family time, and then at the holidays end and they've been fighting and they're like, why are we fighting? Oh, because we haven't actually spent any time relaxing as a couple. It's just been go for like 2 months. Spend some time on activities that maybe don't require prolonged intimacy, but that are still connected. Okay. Casual outings, going out for lunch together, go to a botanical garden. There's a number of places that have beautiful indoor gardens, even during the wintertime. You can see some butterflies or some fish, or you can go out and relax like that. Go see a movie together. A lot of holiday movies are out, even if they're terrible. Go out, buy a bucket of popcorn for like $600 right now, pretty much, and go enjoy. Indulge a little bit. Do some activities that don't even require conversation, but that you can connect and she can rest in your presence. The really great thing about avoidant women is that they typically, as long as you don't have immediate overwhelming demands, they can rest in your presence, and that allows them to feel safe. That actually is some level of intimacy to them. So give her that care and nurturing. Spend some time with her that isn't demanding that she speak to you and focus on you, especially as she's performing for everybody else. Don't make her perform for you, okay? Avoid packed social events like big concerts and things like that. Prioritize low-key quality time that allows her to feel more at ease. Watching a movie at home under a blanket. You know what? You can order DoorDash from your favorite restaurant. You can order takeout from a great sushi restaurant. Have an at-home picnic. Watch her favorite movie, watch 2 or 3 movies. It's a great time of year to rewatch the Lord of the Rings trilogies, by the way. I'm just going to throw that out there. My wife is keen on those. Just watch some activities. Do something together. Go for a quiet walk. Don't prioritize talking because there's a lot of that happening already. Prioritize quiet, low-pressure time together. And in fact, tell her that that's what you're doing. Hey, I know that this time of year, there's a lot of expectations. There's a lot of socializing. I want to make sure we're spending time together, but I don't want to tax you. What sort of activities do you enjoy? Would you enjoy going to the botanical gardens and just seeing the butterflies together and seeing the flowers? Do you want to go to the zoo, right? Indoor zoos can be quite wonderful. Go to one of those. Again, movies, social activities, just go to a bookstore. Sometimes going to a big bookstore and walking around and shopping, even separately, and then connecting every 20 minutes, showing each other what you found so far, that can be fun. Do something relaxing and fun and engaging that she will enjoy. There's so many activities out there, you guys. I can't even tell you. This is the reason we have indoor video game arcades. Dave & Buster's can be really fun, usually for some couples. Miniature golf, like it depends where you are. If you're in the snow and in the ice and the snow like I am, there's outdoor things that you can do. You can even just go for walks. You can even just bundle up and go for a nice walk. Even that can be fun. You can go for a quiet, silent drive where you both have a cup of hot coffee or hot cocoa, and you go for a quiet drive with a podcast or some music playing. Ask her, hey, do you want to go for a drive and listen to a podcast? Would that be comforting for you? She'd probably say, hell yeah, that sounds nice. Can we please not talk? And you'd be like, yes, that is totally fine for now. Right? Give her that. Help her understand that that's totally okay. Most avoidant women are so burned out on social expectations that getting to a place where they're being forced to talk feels exhausting. Giving her full permission not to talk and helping her understand that that's okay sets you apart from everybody else in her world making demands of her. And finally, that's the biggest piece I really want you to take away from here, okay? Help her understand what you expect from her. Don't don't just leave it that she probably knows what I want. Don't do that. Make it clear and direct of exactly what you expect and exactly what you need, and then get her expectations in return. Transactional relationships are very comfortable for avoidant people, and not exploitative ones if she's going to give you as little as possible and take everything, but generous, loving, caring. Here's what I need from you, but also, what do you need from me? How can I take care of you during this holiday season? Great question to ask. Sweetheart, I know the holidays are stressful. I know we're going to be visiting a lot of people, and I know you're doing a lot for me that you probably don't feel the reciprocal love from. What can I do this holiday season to make sure I'm taking care of you? That's a fantastic conversation you need to have with her immediately. Now, there are some specific challenges of being with an avoidant partner I want to make sure we talk about really quick. Number one is managing trust issues and the emotional distance. Avoidant people can unintentionally create accidental mistrust by appearing detached, disinterested, or inconsistent. Okay? This comes about because their cortisol levels flood so high, and their cortisol is unregulated because they have low oxytocin, which leads to low GABA, which completely just dysregulates their cortisol. They are swimming in cortisol like a fish. They don't really know the difference. They have to develop emotional discipline under the worst possible circumstances. Imagine you have 200 pounds of weight strapped to your ankles, and you have to learn to swim. They've done that, and they're continuously treading water with weights strapped to their ankles, and they're like, no, I'm not stressed. This is natural. This is normal, right? Understand that that's where they're at, and that's why they get burned out, and that's why they pull back. That's what's happening, okay? It's not you. Taking it personally is the worst thing you can do. Instead, solution here, openly discuss her comfort level with closeness, her respect, her need for space. That can strengthen her trust in you over time. Sweetheart, I know that sometimes closeness probably seems tough for you. Sometimes it seems like it stresses you out. And number one, I just want you to know that's totally okay. I get it, and it's fine. I also know that you need space, probably because you get pretty worn out dealing with people's feelings, right? And she'll say, well, yeah, okay. I get that it's not me. I get that that's a need that you have. I want to take care of that and respect that. How can I help you? What can I do to facilitate that? How can we make sure you're getting the space that you need? And how can we also help you feel relaxed and calm around me? Do you need to know more about my expectations? Do you need to know about more about my inner thoughts? Do you need to know more about my motives? Do you ever wonder what I'm trying to get from you? If that's the case, do you want to just ask me? Is it helpful if I tell you more openly what I'm thinking or what I'm wanting? Is that helpful to you? Right? Ask her these questions, build the framework. If that makes her run screaming from the relationship, she probably is not the ethical avoidant type. She might be more toward the manipulative type, or she might just be so dysregulated that having a conversation with her is not reasonable and not possible. There are times where some avoidant people are simply refusing to engage in relationships. Not every avoidant person is ready for that, and not every avoidant person is ready to work with you or become non-avoidant. But the ones who are, and honestly, most avoidant women would rather not be avoidant because it's uncomfortable. Most of them will try to work with you. Have that conversation, see what she does. Okay. The second thing I want to address is understanding those mixed signals. An avoidant woman may struggle to express love in conventional ways, often leading to misunderstandings. She's probably not going to knit you a sweater in the darkness with the candlelight, crying herself to sleep like, I hope he loves this sweater. She's probably going to give you duct tape, a hammer, and a hacksaw and be like, look, this will help you survive the uprisings. And you're like, what the hell? Like, it's very, very different. Avoidant women in the bedroom, they typically want to face away. They minimize kissing. They'll still be with you, but the intimacy needs to be separated for them because it's uncomfortable. Again, this leads to the idea that she doesn't like me. She doesn't want to have sex with me. She doesn't want to be near me. Avoidant women are less likely to grab your hand and hold your hand, unless they're thinking like, he probably wants me to, and if I do this, this will make him feel good. I should do it. They're less likely to do the compulsive, affectionate behaviors that come from high levels of oxytocin. Though oxytocin imbalance can be fixed over time, and that's the goal of becoming more secure, is flooding with healthy oxytocin drives a natural, healthy sex drive. It drives her desire, her connection, her happiness, her fulfillment, her safety, her intimacy. It all improves, but that comes with time. Okay. At the beginning, she will send mixed signals. I very, very much recommend observe her subtle ways of showing care, small gestures that indicate her commitment without requiring words or grand displays. Most avoidant women show their love for you through actions without saying it, and they're going to be more like masculine actions. How would a man show love? That's probably what she's going to do, right? She's going to understand what you need and then do it kind of mechanically. She's going to take care of your bedroom needs more mechanically. It's probably going to be on her calendar and she's going to be like, oh, well, time to go milk the goat, right? That's going to be more what it's about. But understand that her tracking your needs actually is her sign of love for you. And you can talk to her about this. And you can say, I've noticed you're a little bit different from most women. That's a good thing. I like it. It's cool. I'm vibing with it. I kind of expect these things kind of speak a love and affection to me, but I think that you're doing these things. Is this your way of showing love and affection? Is there any way maybe you could do one or two of these, incorporate these in, okay, as we're going, but these mean a lot to me. Tell me why these are helpful to you. Tell me why these mean love to you. In return, what means love? And ask her, what means love to you? Because I'm going to be trying to do these things, but they probably won't land. You probably don't want flowers and chocolates and crying. You probably want a hacksaw, a hammer, and duct tape. So what means love to you? Help me understand that. Treat avoidant women as if they are neurodivergent and a bit different. Okay. If you're with a neurodivergent woman, you wouldn't bat an eye. You'd be like, oh, great. Okay. You're a little bit different. Your brain's different. Cool. What's different for you? And how can I help you feel loved differently? But when you're with an avoidant woman, you're like, man, she should get over this. Come on. Right? Like, no, her brain actually is different. It's biochemical. It's not made different. The biochemistry of the trauma in childhood leading to the hormonal differences, leading to that oxytocin drop and the GABA drop and the high sympathetic nervous system leading to unregulated cortisol. That's what's happening. Treat her as if she's neurodivergent. Just care for her, not pity, not like, oh, you're deficient. No, like you're different. Cool. How can I help you feel loved? Okay. The great thing about avoidant women, guys, is you will really appreciate them when the crap hits the fan and you need someone on your side and you're in a bar fight and someone's about to like kill you. She will come up behind them with a knife and shiv them right in the kidneys. So that's the nice balance point here, is when the chips are down and there's a crisis, she leaps in and helps you take care. She's like right there on the front line. She's not the one in the back, like crying and covering her face, waiting for it to be over. She's right there, like with a chainsaw in the middle of it. And they're like, how did she get a chainsaw? And she's like, all right, we're doing this, right? That's the avoidant mindset. So you're making a trade. Instead of being with a sentimental woman, you're being with a very practical woman. Keep that in mind, okay? Now, this needs to be said. The goal is not to tiptoe around avoidant attachment style forever. Avoidant attachment style is a deviation from a natural, healthy flow of human relationships. This doesn't mean there's something wrong with her, but it does mean that she's in a non-optimized state that actually will be damaging over time. That low level of oxytocin with low GABA leads to low melatonin, poor quality of sleep. That in turn leads to all kinds of hormonal issues. A lot of PCOS happens because of this. A lot of, well, all kinds of fertility challenges. A lot of avoidant women experience pretty significant fertility issues and or breastfeeding issues, by the way, and or bedroom issues also. They can have really bad fertility challenges, yes, but also just ongoing hormonal challenges every month. Their serotonin levels are low, so they're more likely to experience depression symptoms, but they won't call them depression symptoms because avoidant people don't believe in depression. They think it's just being weak, but they will feel it, right? High levels of anxiety, lower immune system, over time, higher propensity for cancer, heart disease, strokes, death. She could die at 55 and be one of those women that dies way young. So it's not best to stay avoidant, okay? The goal also is not for you to tiptoe around for the rest of your life on eggshells. That's not the goal here either. The goal is to help her become more secure with you. There's a couple ways you can do this, okay? Number one, practice non-intrusive support. Avoid trying to like fix her like, hey, I've adopted you and now I'm going to make you right. No, absolutely not. This is going to, like, she's going to shoot you with a gun because she's like, okay, I've joined a cult and you're trying to control me. That's what she's afraid of. That's actually why she's staying out of the emotional intimacy range, because she's afraid of that happening, okay? Instead, offer steady, non-demanding support. Hey, I know that social connections and expectations can drain you. That's totally fine. I need to know how much space to give you and when. Can we schedule that in so you feel comfortable? What means love to you? How can I give that to you? You're a little bit different than I am. Fantastic, okay? Very, very important. It's also very important that she see you doing that. She needs to hear it. Don't just guess. Remember that she's constantly tracking your behaviors. And if you start shifting behaviors to try to like be more subtly supportive without telling her what's going on, she's going to wonder what you're doing. He's buttering me up to sell me overseas. That's like immediately that's going to start boiling up in her brain. Tell her, you know what? I've realized that you're just a little bit different, and that's cool. I don't pity you and I don't look down on you anyway. You're just a little bit different, and that's fine. I want to give you the love that I can in the way that it's going to mean something to you. So I'm going to try to shift my behavior patterns so that I can be more supportive of you. I'm not doing this because I'm trying to get something from you. I'm trying to make a sustainable relationship with you long term. And to do that, I need to know that you are fulfilled. That will mean a lot to me. So could you please help me do that? In return, we can talk about mine as well. We can balance this out so it's sustainable, but I want to make sure you're receiving that care so that you feel like you're getting something out of this relationship. Be clear and direct, okay? Second thing that you can do is encourage more open communication. Gently encourage her to share her feelings without pushing too hard. She might not even know what her feelings are, right? She's probably dissociated from them and locked them in a box and buried that box in a shallow grave and then cemented over top of it and then built a factory on top of it, right? That makes munitions and rifles and ammunition. And now she's churning out machine guns on top of her feelings. That's probably what's happening. And that's okay. Give her time to feel comfortable opening up and say, hey, you know what? I do want to understand where you're coming from. I do want to make sure that you feel calm and at peace in this relationship. I want to help you do that. So if you're not sure what you're feeling at all, could you please come back to me and let me know over time where you're at, what your thoughts are, and how you're doing? Because I would love to take care of you in that way, right? Number 3 is to respect her boundaries. Building secure attachment means balancing her need for space with closeness, reinforcing stability. Don't overwhelm her. It does mean you're going to have to discipline your own emotions. And a lot of men watching this probably have anxious attachment style, which makes her distrust you. The more emotionally regulated and calm you can become, the more you have mentors and people keeping you accountable outside the relationship, the more pressure it takes off of her, and the more she can begin to trust you and respect you. This can allow her to come out of her sympathetic nervous system and enter her parasympathetic nervous system, where her oxytocin receptors open up, and suddenly she's kind of like a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, starry-eyed little girl, like in love with you for the first time in her life, like, because you're the first person who's ever made her feel safe. So she'll give you extra hammers and extra duct tape. Okay? That's how that works. So you're going to need to out-masculine her, which in this case means being more emotionally disciplined. It's the biggest piece so that she can rest in your presence and know that you've got this. Okay? She can't sleep at night if there's zombies coming at her over all the time and she has to keep shooting them unless you're shooting them faster than she is. Then she go, oh, wow, I can rest. He's got this. Very, very careful. And again, make sure she knows that you're trying to do that. The goal is that over time, with consistent patient support, it helps create a safe foundation where she can engage without feeling pressured. She doesn't think you're going to grab her and trap her or give her unrealistic expectations, hurt her, misuse her, the way that other people probably have. This builds more secure attachment between you. Over time, what happens is she begins to trust you. You are the one person on the planet she trusts. You're the one person where she feels safe. You're the one person who actually is fair and balanced with her. The amount of dedication and loyalty you will get from this woman cannot really be measured. Okay? Then you have someone on your side that when someone tries to jump you in a bar fight, she leaps onto their back with her teeth and her claws. That's what you're looking at here. Okay? A lifetime of love and gratitude and care. Keep that in mind. Build that secure attachment. The goal is not for either one of you to have to tiptoe around this avoidant attachment. It's to help calm her sympathetic nervous system, bring her out of fight or flight, help her immerse into her parasympathetic rest, rejuvenate, heal her fertility, her hormones, her neurotransmitters, everything, and then feel calm in your presence because you're consistent, you're disciplined, you're clear about expectations, and you're fair and balanced so that you are always just and calm. Make sense? Mandatory if you want this to work. Especially important during the holidays, but honestly, this is every day. So guys out there, I know that navigating the holidays with an avoidant partner, it can be frustrating. I know it can. Avoidant behavior can be exhausting. It can be frustrating. It feels constantly like a slap to the face. It feels like they don't care about you. You have to constantly, daily remind yourself, they love me, they love me, they love me, they love me. She doesn't actually hate me. She doesn't actually care if she doesn't actually not care if I die in a ditch. She doesn't actually wish I was dead, right? You have to constantly remind yourself of that because she's not giving off the signals that you would expect somebody to give off when they deeply care about you. The mixed signals are exhausting. I get that, okay? And avoidant ladies out there, if you don't realize that that's accidentally what you're putting your most loved partners through, it is. Now, right now, the thought probably just went through your mind, well, then I should just leave so that he's not hurting anymore. No, that will make it worse. Instead, learn how to signal the proper things. Over time, you will, especially as the oxytocin flows. Learn how to signal properly in ways that he can receive. And guys out there, learn her real signals, because she's actually sending you signals that she does love you and care about you. It's just not the signals you'd normally expect. Again, this is only maybe 6 to 10% of women by estimates, okay? There's actually more women with personality disorders, about 15% estimated, than there are just purely avoidant women, 6 to 10%, okay? There's more, it's more likely full personality disorders than it is just raw avoidance. But they do exist. Up to 10% of women are just purely avoidant, okay? There's ethical avoidant and manipulative avoidant. Keep that in mind, but they do exist. And they do have a pattern of behavior to show you that they love you. So the next time she gives you duct tape, a hacksaw, maybe a few extra spare bullets that she didn't need, like, hey, you know what? You're going to need some more ammunition. You're like, what? I'm going to the mall, right? Like, keep in mind, that is her way of loving you. Very important. You can enjoy the season with your partner more and have more connection with them if you follow the steps in this video. If you need additional help on this, okay, if your relationship's struggling, ladies out there, if you're wanting to overcome these avoidant tendencies and finally experience that closeness and love and safety you've always heard about that never made much sense to you, if you're wanting to transform yourself to build a sustainable marriage, guys out there, if you're wanting to do this together as a couple, especially, if you're ready to go deeper into building secure attachment and overcoming these avoidant challenges for life, my attachment repair program is available to guide you. It's designed to help couples bridge that gap, build trust, and create the secure connection that you've been looking for. You can go through this as an individual, working on your relationship, or together as a partnership. Okay. This is especially important for any couples out there who are feeling frustration right now. If you're getting really agitated, you're really doubting that love, it feels like it's not working, you don't know how to have the conversations, you don't know the languages to use, okay? And avoidant women out there, if you're feeling like you got to run, the dopamine crash has happened, you're not feeling pleasure in the relationship anymore, and his expectations seem to be increasing, and you're so confused about what to do, it's time to get in ASAP so that you can get some assistance now and protect this relationship. It's likely that it's a good, healthy relationship, likely, and you can protect it and you can nurture it, but you probably don't have the skills and the understanding of what to do. So I built the attachment repair program so you can work with my certified coaches and with myself, and we can get you through that very, very quickly. I would love to hear from two groups out there right now. Number one, you avoidant ladies, I know you're out there. I know you're here. Glad you're here. I hope you got a laugh out of this video, but I also hope it hit home pretty hard for you so that you can maybe take a second look at some of your own behavior patterns and be a little bit calmer and a little more clear about your communication. I'd love to hear from you. Number one, have you noticed that your own avoidant tendencies sometimes negatively impact a relationship or get misunderstood by partners? Have you seen that? Share that story in the comment. I would love to hear from you. And guys out there who've been in love with an avoidant woman or might be with one right now, are you experiencing some of these frustrations in your relationships? Have you seen them? What's happening? What's going on? And what is it leading to? I would love to hear that data as well. This is a conversation I think we need to be having in the comments, because avoidant people need to see the impact of their behavior and how they're perceived, not in a bad way, but just a realistic way. And other people need to see how avoidant people are experiencing the relationship themselves. I'm here making these videos and explaining it so the two sides understand each other. But you know what's so much more helpful? When you guys are in the comments talking and I'm in there checking them out, some of you guys share incredible stories and other people jump in and say, wow, I never thought of it like that before. This is amazing. I'm going to go talk to my partner right now, right? That conversation is so crucial. So please leave those comments and let me know. Let's support each other through the holiday season and well into the new year. I'm Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist, the attachment whisperer. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you turn on notifications for this channel, including in your phone. Hit that little button so that it makes sure it comes through so you can get my notifications for live streams that I do, all these new videos and everything. Go check out my community posts. I have lengthy written guides in there on how to connect for partnership and how to connect in real emotional intimacy. Till the next video, be good and have a great holiday season.